Project Grow radio show, a passionate millennials perspective and advice on faith, marketing, leadership, and technology. In a world that's quickly advancing, we bring you exciting interviews from today's top entrepreneurs and leaders, fueling your growth in life and business. And now your host and fellow believer in business, Adrian Boycell.
Oh yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back. You are listening to the Project Grow radio show. I'm your host, Adrian Boycell, and it's Wednesday. It's a little gloomy outside, but I'm really excited to be here with you guys. We got another amazing show planned for you. This is actually number 12, lucky number 12. I was born on the 12th of the month, and I have a feeling this is going to be quite the experience for you guys and for me. So I have a very close friend of mine, become a close family friend of mine, and business colleague, and a gentleman that I'm going to introduce to you here in just a moment, but his name is Brandon Leone, and he's with Legacy Builders, and it's just going to be a really exciting show today. We've been talking about this for the last few weeks and trying to set this whole thing up, and I've just had a lot of fun already getting to know him and learning more about myself and what my purpose is in this life. He's really brought a lot of clarity to my life, so we're going to talk a little bit about some of his gifts and talk about miracles today. That's really one of the biggest topics of the show, is miracles, motivation, with Brandon Leone, and then mandates. I'm also going to talk a little bit about some of the new employment mandates that are going on in the business world now as of 2018, January 1st of 2018. So it's going to be an exciting show. It's been quite the busy week. We've had a lot going on. I just recently launched our Instagraphics app. You'll hear the commercials for it playing during the show. It's an on-demand graphic design and web design service. So we're going to be talking about that probably towards the end of the show, but just been working on that nonstop, working on a bunch of new client projects. You know, when the new year comes, everybody's got new business ideas and new ventures and new startups, and so that's when I get hounded with phone calls of, hey, I got this idea, and hey, I got that idea, and I'm starting this business. So I get bombarded by calls, and I have to kind of sift through that and qualify everybody and see who was really a fit for our agency. So I've been really slammed with that and kind of had a very short amount of time to prepare for the show, but I kind of knew what was going to happen just because of the new year, so I was prepared for that, and I had already kind of outlined this right out of the gate at the very beginning of the year. So I have, like I said, last show, about 6 or 7 guests already booked for the month, and all the way going into February. So it's going to be a really exciting month. I have just a ton of amazing content and a lot of really great guests that are going to be on the show, but I have a feeling this is going to be one of my favorites here, having Brandon on the show. So I guess what I'll start off with today is let's just get the mandates, the boring business stuff out of the way, so we can get into the real good nuggets of miracles and motivation. So one of the things I wanted to share with you guys today in terms of mandates is all the new laws that have passed for employers. These are laws that you're really going to have to follow and keep yourself out of hot water. So I work with a company called Premier Personnel. Their domain name is ppfsp.com. They have a blog that you can get a lot of updates about, you know, the trucking industry and employment laws, and they're adding stuff on a regular basis. So some of the stuff that I'm going to reference is actually on their blog. You can pull it up there, and one of those is AB 168. If you guys haven't heard of that, it's the new employment mandate for 2018. Companies are no longer allowed to ask for prior salary or compensation during hiring, so during an interview or anything like that. So you have to stop asking what their previous salary was, what they got paid somewhere else. You can't do it anymore. It's not allowed. A lot of people I've heard love this. There are some people that hate it. I would love to hear your opinion. If you guys want to jump on the Project Grow radio show page, I can post the article from Premier Personnel's blog, and maybe we can have a little open dialogue about it. I'd love to hear your perspective on it. But yeah, if you want more info, just go there and check it out. The second mandate that I thought was really interesting, and I have a lot more information on it, I was doing some research, is SB 63, which is actually something that I've heard about over the last few years. Canada is a big proponent of this. There's a lot of countries that are very supportive of this, and actually we could probably talk about this with Brandon here when I introduce him, but it's actually officially titled the Parental Leave Act. It requires employers between 20 and 49 employees, so companies that have between 20 and 49 people in their business, to offer parental leave that mirrors the Family Medical Leave Act. So the act allows employees who work for a covered employer to take up to 12 weeks of unpaid job protected leave if they have worked a minimum of 1,250 hours in the last 12 months prior to taking that leave. So employees can leave only for the purpose of bonding with a newborn child, adopted child, or foster child. So even if you have an adopted child or a foster child within a year of the birth or placement. So if you just went through an adoption or just took in a new child into your home, within the last year, you're able to take that leave to spend time with them, which I think is a really great thing. Family is way more important than work, and although it is unpaid, you have to figure out how to cover your bills. I'm sure there's insurance policies, which maybe we could even talk a little bit about, that can help you kind of cover that. I know I've used Aflac to cover certain situations like that, but covered employers will also need to maintain health coverage under the same terms as an active employee. So your health coverage won't be affected by this act as well. Just because you take the leave, you're not going to lose any of your medical benefits. The act also prohibits discrimination, retaliation against an employee for taking this parental leave. So even if you're working for a small business that has 20 employees, if they kind of come after you and try to fire you or do anything like that, you have legal recourse to, and I'm not giving legal advice, but you have recourse to take advantage of that type of retaliation, which just isn't right. So, and then the third one, which I thought was pretty neat. We're starting to finally see the increase, but as of January 1st, 2018, minimum wage is increasing. I still don't think it's high enough. Personally, in my belief system, I don't think there should be a minimum wage, but I think if there's going to be one, I think we need to have it continue to go up so people can live a livable life and be able to get by and pay their bills. And working for $8-10 an hour is just not enough these days with all the inflation. So as inflation goes up, we obviously need to be paid more per hour. So California state minimum now wage goes up to $11 per hour for businesses with 26 or more employees. So keep that in mind, 26 or more. If you have less than that, then it's $10.50 per hour for all the smaller companies. So those are three really important things. The minimum wage increase, the Parental Leave Act, those are the big ones I thought you would want to know about, and then AB 168. So if you're starting the new year with applying to a bunch of new jobs and trying to get a new career, or starting fresh, or maybe you have a company that you've been asking people, what did you make at your previous job, or what were they paying you per hour? You can no longer do that. So three really, really important things that I think will be very helpful for you guys to know about this year. And like I said, go check out ppfsp.com. They're a payroll company that I work with. It's actually in the office building that I share as the sponsor of this show. So that's what I really wanted to start with you guys. So we're going to jump over to the next topic, which is actually motivation. So there's a really cool aspect of motivation that I thought of when I was kind of planning this whole part out, and I've kind of thought back to a conversation I had with one of my former employees. He's like, "Man, are you afraid to succeed?" Because over the years I've been doing this for 12 years, you would think, oh man, this guy's probably a millionaire. Well, I'm not. And if I had really been focused that entire time and not had some of the things happen that have happened over the years, I probably could have been a millionaire. But I think there has been some belief systems that I've had just from maybe my childhood or early on in my business career that have held me back from being able to really achieve that level of success, which I just feel like isn't really true success. It's just financial freedom, which is what a lot of people are going after. So motivation's a really big part of making progress in your business. So that's something that I've been kind of really examining the last couple of days and really thinking about and taking into consideration, and not just the last couple of days, but the last couple of months. Motivation for me comes and goes, and so that's the one thing that I always get it back. So even though I'll lose motivation for a couple of days, I always find it again. And the funny thing is that I've noticed, and maybe this will help you guys out, is you want to really focus on what you love and stop focusing on the fear. The fear is really the biggest thing that I've noticed that demotivates me. Fear, or having somebody jump in the middle of my business and try to stop the progress or discourage me, and me letting them speak into my life. I've really taken a whole other approach to letting people, outside influences, speak into my life, unless I know two things. They're either walking with the Lord and His presence and walking with love, and two, that they're somebody that I would switch places with. So if they're not either one of those things, I'm not going to let them speak into my life, and they can talk all they want, but it doesn't mean I'm just going to take it with a grain of salt like I always do. So that's something I would like to impart to you, is when you're losing your motivation, think about what it is that you're focusing on. If you're focusing on the fears versus focusing on the stuff that you love, that's really going to break your motivation. So we're going to go to a break, our first break, and then when we get back, we're going to introduce Brandon Leone. So thank you guys. See you in a minute. Hi, I'm Adrian Boycell, and this is your Business Minute. Why do companies struggle to create a healthy culture? Scaling your business is one of the biggest challenges you will face in your entrepreneurial journey. Let's face it, no one will believe in your business as much as you do or be as dedicated as you are. That's why creating a healthy culture that is focused on teamwork and communication is so important. Mike, here are 3 tips to help you improve your company's culture. Number 1, what is your why? Your team must not only believe in you, but why you are different and how you are improving your industry. Number 2, culture starts at the top. If you're coming in late, leaving early, or spending the majority of your day alone and on your phone, what is that saying to your team? Be present, communicate, and lead by example. And number 3, upfront expectations and accountability. You must give each member of your team a clear job description and set expectations up from the very beginning. It's not easy, but if you want a healthy culture, it has to be done. You're going to have to sit that team member down and revisit all of the expectations that you had from the beginning and go over their job description so that everybody is on the same page. And don't forget, it's really important to give that team member praise along with criticism.
What's up, Don?
It's perfect.
What's up, Anna?
You want your team member to feel like they are appreciated.
Make sure you guys turn your audio off.
This has been your Business Minute, and as always, keep looking up.
Do you dream about building a successful real estate business and don't know how to get to the next level? Are you thinking about buying or selling property? You need a partner who is a trusted authority in the real estate industry. I'm Krista Proctor, and it is my passion to propel people forward in achieving their real estate dreams. Whether you are a buyer, a seller, or even an agent in need of coaching, my team's attention to detail and our ability to predict outcomes will make the whole experience enjoyable. If you'd like to work with me, then now is the time. Call or text me at 877-707-6050 for a no-cost real estate roadmap consultation. My proven process is guaranteed to create a successful outcome for my clients. We also have an agency ownership opportunity for realtors across the nation. Call or text me at 877-707-6050. I'm Krista Proctor, trusted real estate expert of the Project Grow radio show, and I can't wait to partner with you.
Are you sick and tired of dealing with flaky graphic designers and web designers who always overpromise and underdeliver? We have a solution, and it's called Instagraphics. It's an on-demand graphic design and web design service allowing you to get your website or your graphic design project done the same day. All you got to do is download it for free on the Google Play Store. There's live support and a ton of other resources to help you grow your business. Check it out, instagraphics.com, or download the Instagraphics app for free on the Google Play Store.
Handling payroll, workers' comp, and HR yourself is a big risk. If done incorrectly, it can cost you thousands of dollars and agonizing audits. You need a reliable company that looks out for you in all of these areas, and there's no better company than Premier Personnel. Family owned and operated, Jennifer and Scott will provide the highest quality service at a cost you can afford. Call Premier Personnel at 888-915-0806. Or visit them online at pfsp.com.
I'm passionate about our future generations, and I believe that the current model of partying is a destructive dead-end road. That's why a year ago, I dedicated my life and my time to supporting Lounge of Life. It's a nonprofit organization with a mission to help young people from falling into the destructive lifestyle of the current partying scene. College binge drinking and drug abuse is a huge epidemic, causing more than 1,800 deaths per year and 97,000 cases of abuse. I believe this is truly a problem worth fighting for. We've started a fundraiser on GoFundMe to continue the progress and the efforts of our team to impact the community by providing education and what I feel is a much-needed alternative nightlife experience. So today, I'm asking all of my listeners for help. Go visit our GoFundMe campaign at gofundme.com/Lounge of Life. Make a generous donation, and I will announce all of the names of the top 25 donors. Again, that's gofundme.com/Lounge of Life.
Radio show.
Thank you for your
I'm
support.
your host, Adrian Boycell.
Funny 105.5.
Anyway, we are back.
Hey, everybody. You're
You're
listening to the Project Grow radio show. I'm your host, Adrian
Now
Boycell.
it's that time to introduce my very special guest. My
Anyway,
friend,
we are back.
business
You're listening to the
colleague,
Project Grow
Brandon
radio
Leo,
show. Like I said,
Legacy
I'm Adrian
Builders. He also,
Boycell, your host.
has
We're
a real
live
estate
here in
business,
studio.
but
And now it's that time to introduce my very special guest, my friend and business colleague, Brandon Leone with Legacy Builders. He also has a real estate business, but his new passion and his goal in life is to bring community. And I kind of look at him as a guardian angel in my life. He's made a huge impact. So Brandon, thank you so much for being here.
I'm going to get into the story that I have of kind of like at the very beginning of my career, where my motivation started.
I was just talking about motivations, as you're sitting here, and I was going to get into the story that I have of kind of like at the very beginning of my career where my motivation started. And at the very beginning, my only motivation was to basically retire before all my parents and be more successful in that financial way than they were. Like I was like, I'm going to be done by 40. I'm going to just push in. If I got to dedicate 20 years of 12-hour days and 7 days a week and give it my all, and I can retire early, then I'm going to have that financial freedom, and I can go out and do whatever I want to do. I can go pursue my passions or have a family and do all that. And then I had a kid, and then all of those motivations changed. And from there, it just became about wanting to work as little as possible and wanting to spend as much time with Joseph as I could and dedicate, my days. So I was working from home, 15 hours a week, and it was all about just kind of getting enough money just to get by, just to have, my family, and just to be able to, have fun when we wanted to go out and have fun and go on a trip. We went on trips like almost every weekend, day trips to the Bay Area or day trips to Santa Cruz or Tahoe or Reno, whatever. That was really my life. So I was just having fun with my family and making memories and watching Joseph go from a baby to a boy. And so that has definitely changed it. And now as he's starting to really get older, he's almost, coming up to 6 years old now, I'm finding myself being more interested in his future. What he's going to do in his education, what he's going to do in sports, what he's going to do. He's starting baseball, and then even college and where his career is going to go, and kind of like my legacy, legacy builders, kind of my legacy of what happens when I'm no longer here. What is he going to take over my business? Like just thinking about all those types of things. So my motivations are now changing, and I'm redirecting some of those things and kind of reevaluating those things. So it's really become family for me. That's now my big motivation. So how about you?
Family changes everything.
It really does.
If we knew then what we know now. Right. I mean, I think everybody wishes they could have a time machine that they can go back in time.
Yep.
And my story, it's somewhat similar in that I was chasing money, and I thought that I had a relationship with God at a young age, but it wasn't really serving Him. But I will say this: there was a time where I thought money would solve every problem. There's no problem that money wouldn't solve.
Money makes your life easier.
Right. And so I just chased money and success, and I thought that I'd be able to make a difference with the money. But what I didn't realize is if I would have won the lotto, I probably would have been one of those people that would have been broke, right? Because I wouldn't have been able to steward it well. And I know what I've learned is that the Lord's not going to give you more than you can handle. If you're not ready for it, He's not going to give it to you.
Yep.
And so I've had to go back to the drawing board, learn my identity and who I am. And I'm with you, though. As we have more children, I have 2 and 1 on the way. As we have more children, we start to look at, okay, what kind of legacy am I leaving?
Yep.
Like, okay, the money's fine, but you can't take the money with you. So, like, am I leaving the world in a better place than when I came? And the same thing with the children. You want them to thrive.
Yep. We want them to have a better life than we did. I had challenges growing up, as I'm sure you did, and I want him to be able to avoid those things. And there's going to be a lot that he's got to learn on his own, but that he's really what motivates me. Him and my family, my lady, my fiance, and even her son. They get me up out of bed every day, and plus I love what I do. Every day I get to wake up and do exactly what I know I was put here on earth to do. Is go be creative, come up with ideas, help people. How much better could it get?
Absolutely. I think everybody was created to contribute something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beautiful thing, is that every single person, even all of you listening right now, you have unique gifts that the Lord has given you that you might not even know exist yet, but everybody has something unique to offer, and everybody wants to leave a legacy of some sort. I just think that the older we get, the more real it becomes that life is not infinite, like we don't live forever.
That clock, we start to see that clock ticking down, the countdown on us, and we realize that just every day is so much more precious than the day before, and we got to really make the most out of it. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
So I had prepared, a bunch of stuff on motivation, and we've talked a little bit about that. But really, one of the gifts and common things I've been seeing since I've met you is miracles. And I mean, it's a really sensitive subject. It's I was looking up what the definition of miracles is, and let me actually read that.
Where did it go? I had the definition. Oh, okay. The Webster's definition of miracles is an extraordinary event manifesting divine intervention in human affairs.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful.
It is powerful, and the way that I look at miracles is it's something that just can't be explained. I mean, a miracle to one person is not a miracle to someone else.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if you saw a leg grow back, that's a miracle, right?
Yep.
That wasn't there. But sometimes a miracle for somebody could be having a good night's sleep.
Yep.
And
Small
for
things.
someone that has insomnia that has a good night's sleep, maybe a miracle is somebody getting the first encouragement that they've gotten in a year.
Yeah.
Somebody encouraging them.
Someone noticing them.
And I think that's what the Lord wants to bring out in people. So the big miracles are great. And I've seen a lot of really cool things. But the crazy thing is, what I've learned over time is that the miracles, all they are pointing to our Creator. Like, all they are pointing to God.
Yep.
And they're not meant to be like, oh, let's focus on the miracle.
Yeah.
It's like everybody needs to know that they're loved, you know, by the Lord, and that He's after them. That's what the gospel is for.
Yep.
And so just learning that and understanding my identity and how I fit in.
Yeah.
Because I used to chase the miracle,
Seriously.
and now I just chase my Father. Now I just say, okay, Lord, you know, who do you want to love? Who do you want to bless?
Exactly.
And it's fun.
Yeah. I try to be obedient to that as much as possible. I've had a couple opportunities recently to impart the wisdom. I think I told you about that when we were at church at Bayside there, and was talking about that gal that I ran into. He was like, hey, look at my daughter and encourage her. And I was like, well, I got a fiance, and I don't know if I could say the word beautiful to her. And like the worldly thoughts and stuff overwhelmed me instead of just being obedient. And she probably needed that. And now it's been 2 weeks where I could have taken that opportunity and I let the worldly, society's view and outlook on what's right and what's not right, rather than just being obedient and following His word. That was a kind of a big realization. It's just I'm still, I'm growing in spiritual maturity, but I'm still human.
We're all growing in some area, and that's the funny thing is, if your son Joseph were to make a mistake, you're going to correct him. You're going to love him. You're going to encourage him. You're going to teach him how to maybe do it right the next time.
Exactly.
And the Lord is the same way. I mean, I can't tell you how many mistakes I make all the time when I get a word that I might not specifically share, or I share something that I shouldn't have shared.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm still learning too. Half the time I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing is rooted in love. So as long as I'm loving that person, then I'm on the right track. But here's the thing: if whatever you're given, if you steward it well, you'll get more.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a principle. But I do know that there have been times where I haven't stewarded what I was given, and I didn't get more. And so now, my big focus is to make sure that I'm stewarding what I have. And so, when you were talking about that conversation that we had, I think it would be kind of cool to talk about what actually happened.
Tell the story.
Yeah, tell the story, because I mean, I'll just set it up. I mean, we took our boys to like a Bayside cafe to just go let the boys play, and we were just kind of talking, and I felt like the Lord wanted to say something, so I said, "Hey, pull out your phone."
Yep.
Right, and then what happened?
Within minutes, and I actually wrote this down here in my notes. Within minutes, this pain that I've had in my hip, the pain I've had in my knee, and even a little bit in my ankle, more in my knee and my hip, disappeared. And I've had this pain since, I would say, probably 2006 when I was doing MMA.
How did that start?
I was telling you a story. You're gonna have to remind me. I was telling you a story.
Yeah, you were. It's funny. You were telling me a story, and I just said, "Hey, you think you want to get your phone out for a second?" And then I started praying, and I'm like, "Hey, you wouldn't happen to have any ankle pain, would you?"
Yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, I do, but my knee as well." Okay.
So. And that's my common question is, a lot of times like I said, don't even know what I'm doing. But what'll happen in my process, and everybody hears the Lord differently, but my process a lot is I feel either an emotion or I feel some kind of feeling in my body, a body part of some sort, and basically I'll just be able to know exactly how to pray for somebody or that they need prayer.
That's awesome. Okay. I really love that. So we're going to go to break, and I have a couple questions for you when we get back, but we'll see you guys in a minute.
From the Big Mountain Heating, Air, and Solar Traffic Center, Charlie Simons.
65 heading southbound is pretty stop and go, starting at Sunset Boulevard all the way to 80. And when you get to 80, if you're heading westbound, it gets better for you finally after Riverside. Now the other direction, Business 80, eastbound along its entire span now pretty slow and stop and go. Past the Cap City split, it stays that way all the way up to 65. 99 heading southbound still have that excellent that accident where you can expect delays up to 30 minutes. Stop traffic 99 southbound at Essinger Road. You want to tell us about something you're seeing? Lexus of Sacramento traffic tip line 830-3077. I'm Charlie Simons.
How do business travelers win on the road? By staying at La Quinta Inns and Suites. Relax with contemporary lobby makeovers and stylish room designs. Prepare to win at business. Book now at lq.com.
Your home is so much more than square footage and a floor plan. So why would you entrust buying a new home or selling your home to anyone but Ellen Hurley, the Real Estate Insider? And tune in weekdays from noon to 1 for Ellen Hurley's show, The Real Estate Insider, exclusively on Money 105.5.
Buying or selling, call the Real Estate Insider. For your real estate dream, she gets it done. Call 916-726-9000. Yeah!
SacHalfOff.com, where everything is half off. School tuitions, vacations and trips, toys, jewelry, clothing, gadgets, electronics, and more. Why pay full price when you can get it for half off at SacHalfOff.com? SacHalfOff.com.
Are you sick and tired of dealing with flaky graphic designers and web designers who always overpromise and underdeliver? We have a solution, and it's called Instagraphics. It's an on-demand graphic design and web design service allowing you to get your website or your graphic design project done the same day. All you got to do is download it for free on the Google Play Store. There's live support and a ton of other resources to help you grow your business. Check it out, instagraphics.com, or download the Instagraphics app for free on the Google Play Store.
Do you dream about building a successful real estate business and don't know how to get to the next level? Are you thinking about buying or selling property? You need a partner who is a trusted authority in the real estate industry. I'm Krista Proctor, and it's my passion to propel people forward in achieving their real estate dreams. Whether you are a buyer, a seller, or even an agent in need of coaching, my team's attention to detail and our ability to predict outcomes will make the whole experience enjoyable. If you'd like to work with me, then now is the time. Call or text me at 877-707-6050 for a no-cost real estate roadmap consultation. My proven process is guaranteed to create a successful outcome for my clients. We also have an agency ownership opportunity for realtors across the nation. Call or text me at 877-707-6050. I'm Krista Proctor, trusted real estate expert of the Project Grow radio show, and I can't wait to partner with you.
I'm passionate about our future generations, and I believe that the current model of partying is a destructive dead-end road. That's why a year ago, I dedicated my life and my time to supporting Lounge of Life. It's a nonprofit organization with a mission to help young people from falling into the destructive lifestyle of the current partying scene. College binge drinking and drug abuse is a huge epidemic, causing more than 1,800 deaths per year and 97,000 cases of abuse. I believe this is truly a problem worth fighting for. We've started a fundraiser on GoFundMe to continue the progress and the efforts of our team to impact the community by providing education and what I feel is a much needed alternative nightlife experience. So today, I'm asking all of my listeners for help. Go visit our GoFundMe campaign at gofundme.com/Lounge of Life. Make a generous donation and I will announce all of the names of the top 25 donors. Again, that's gofundme.com/Lounge of Life. Thank you for your support.
Handling payroll, workers' comp, and HR yourself is a big risk. If done incorrectly, it can cost you thousands of dollars and agonizing audits. You need a reliable company that looks out for you in all of these areas, and there's no better company than Premier Personnel. Family-owned and operated, Jennifer and Scott will provide the highest quality service at a cost you can afford. Call Premier Personnel at 888-915-0806 or visit them online at ppfsp.com.
Money 105.5.
Like, we're back, and you're listening to the Project Grow radio show. I'm your host, Adrian Boycell. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, we're back. I'm here in studio with Brandon Leone of Legacy Builders, and we've been talking a little bit about miracles and motivation, but on the topic of miracles, we want to continue on that and just get a little deeper into it. I wanted to kind of share miracles in business, and I know that's something that he wanted to share, and it's something that he's actively doing. But just to talk real quickly before we get back into the conversation, and I've had a bunch of miracles have happened to me over the last few years. I really feel like there may be some people listening right now that have never had a miracle or feel like they don't recognize when those miracles happen. And I feel like you got to look at the small things, like Brandon said earlier, that are miracles that can be small things. Not everything has to be some dramatic miracle that happened, like all of a sudden you're healed of cancer or anything like that. It can be a small thing. And so a couple of the things that have happened with me recently, this is actually one of them is about a year ago, is my son's mom, biological mom, was actually in a car headed back from Tahoe on New Year's Eve, and this was not just last year, but the year before, and went off of a cliff, 150-foot dive, and landed down in the bottom of the American River, submerged in water under like freezing cold temperatures water, and an 11-year-old boy and a little girl was ejected from the car. The 11-year-old boy died. And if God hadn't have intervened and created this miracle in my life of giving me my son the way he did, my son probably wouldn't have been in that accident, and he may have not made it. So to me, that was one of the miracles that happened in my life. Some people may say that's a coincidence, and that is a big one, but it was something that was very significant to me. Another one was just something simple, just getting guardianship of my son. And then as well, I had something recently happen. We're in a discipleship group, Brandon and I and my fiance and his wife, and one of the guys came up to me at the end, or actually I walked up to Brandon at the end of discipleship group, and he's like, "Hey, we're going to pray for someone." I'm like, "All right, cool." So it was 3 Brandons and me, and we just walked up to this guy, Gary, and he was dealing with having to have a hip surgery, and we started praying for him and praying over him, and I had never seen something happen and seen a miracle happen so quickly up until this point. And he literally started shaking, and next thing you know, Brandon kind of steps back and he's going down, and sure enough, he just like stiff as a board just went straight on his back, and the other guys weren't really paying attention, and I kind of had to hold. This guy was like 6'6", probably 300 pounds. I mean, big guy, and I had to hold him and lift him, or hold him all the way down till he was just flat on the floor, and it was like basically he was asleep. It was an incredible experience, and I could feel the presence. I could feel the healing happening to his body as he was laying there. And as I look up, I see my fiance sitting over there watching the whole thing going on, smiling from ear to ear. And so we walk out of there, and she says, "You will not believe this, but I've had back pain for the last few days, as you know, and my back is healed." She was sitting like 30 feet away. So at that moment, while I thought this Gary guy was experiencing this incredible miracle, at the very same time, my fiance's back was being healed. And, you were there that time, so
yeah,
it was incredible.
Yeah, that was cool. And what I love about prophecy, calling someone into who they are, how the Lord sees them, and healing and all those things, what I love about that is it raises the faith of people.
Yeah.
It raises their faith in the room. And so, my wife and I are under the belief that we can pray for somebody and maybe record the healing, maybe be able to actually see it happen. And we believe that people can watch a video and their faith is risen to such a level that they get healed from watching a video. Of course, it's nothing that we did, it's the Lord, but we have seen it happen. So on a regular basis, I have a chance to call out words of knowledge at church where I'm feeling something.
Yeah.
And I think there were 5 people last week out of, I don't know, maybe 300
Wow.
that right as we called it out, it wasn't just me, there was a group of us, as we called out the words of headaches or congestive heart failure or whatever it is, we were calling it out. People were being healed as we called the word out.
Weren't even started praying for him yet.
Didn't even pray for him yet. And so that's the amazing thing. And that's to raise the level of faith for everyone, And so that's what it's designed for, which is cool.
So everybody can perform miracles. It's not just something that a Christian.
Yeah, and what's funny is I used to think that it was like you had to be like, the pastor, or you had to have a special gift, anointing.
Living a holy life. Like
right,
the Pope.
right. You had to be perfect. You couldn't do anything bad. And what I realized is that I am a son, that when Jesus came down and died on the cross, he died for us. And when he went back up to heaven, he left us Holy Spirit. And so the same power, that conquered the grave lives in us. And so as I think about that, as I started to realize that and learn who I really am, that I don't have to do anything to earn the Father's love.
Yep.
That I'm already a son, and I already have that power inside of me. Anybody that loves the Lord can perform miracles. When I say perform, I hate saying perform,
Right.
but can experience miracles, can
There
see
you go.
people healed,
Yep.
can have amazing dreams, can prophesy. There's a lot of times. I mean, here's the thing, guys. This sounds all spiritual, but when you look at it, sometimes you meet people and you have a discernment about them. You have like something doesn't quite rub you the right way,
Mhm.
or you're like, man, that person's really depressed.
Yep.
Or like those things. Some of that you can see and feel, but
Yeah, like, there's just something about that guy.
Right.
Just can't put my finger on.
Right,
Yep.
right, and that's part of that. And
Mhm.
so I have just practiced and am learning on how to hear that, how to hear, and I never give a negative. It's never a negative word, but everything is rooted in love and positive,
Yeah,
and that's the
exactly.
whole point.
That's the key.
Yeah,
It's
that
gotta
is the
be
key
positive.
to releasing that.
So, I mean, obviously, as you've been growing in your faith and doing this on a more regular basis, the miracles are happening more often. I saw a video that you posted on your Facebook of the lady that you healed, in her home as you were pitching her on mortgage protection or what?
Yeah. So basically, with our company Legacy Builders, let me just backtrack just a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been in real estate for several years, and with the breakthrough, I saw the breakthrough come when I started deciding to just bring God with me to work. That's what I call it.
There you go.
Just merging, God and business together. And so I started just praying for people when I had the opportunity, and I started not separating my church life and my business life. It became one.
Yep.
And that's when I saw the breakthrough. I saw it financially. I saw it spiritually. I saw people being healed and amazing things happening. And I had an encounter, and some might sound crazy to some people, but I had an encounter where the Lord told me to start a new business. So that's where Legacy Builders was born. And he basically just told me that I was going to do it. And I had that encounter before, a similar one, so I knew what it sounded like. And so I got started in Legacy Builders, and we're basically just helping families leave legacies and protect their family and make sure that their families aren't burdened.
Exactly.
So through mortgage protection and final expense, which is like burial and cremation, and just making sure that they're leaving the right kind of legacy. And it's been an amazing journey, but I thought that this company was going to be all about the money and having another stream of income and having another business. And what I quickly realized is that the Lord just wanted me to bring him with me to these houses. I'm going into people's houses and educating them on what options are available. And because of that, and because of my love for the Lord, and because I actually will stop and ask, like that lady, her name was Victoria, that woman, and I just said, Lord, how do you want to love Victoria? That's really all I said.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it was really simple. My wife and I went to her house to go get her protected, which we did. But when we answered the door, I'm not kidding you. Like, if you could think of Hunchback of Notre Dame, like she was completely hunched over. She had a cane in her hand, and she was hobbling side to side, walking like very, very funny, really slow. And so we end up, getting her protected, educated, and enroll her. And then what happened is I said, hey, we love to pray and bless all the families that we come in contact with.
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, absolutely. And so I just basically, I said, I don't know what this means.
Yeah.
But the Lord wants you to know that it's not over. I just kept hearing in my head, it's not over, it's not over, it's not over. And I didn't know what that meant. And she just kind of looked at me wide-eyed and said, no, it's not. And I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but I guess you do.
Yeah.
So we just pray for her, and we just command her vertebrae to be realigned. She had 2 hip surgeries. One of them wasn't quite taking. It was dislocated, her hip was.
Mm-hmm.
So we just prayed for her hip, very simple prayer, just for her hips to be strengthened and made whole, and prayed a couple other things. And when we got done praying, she stood up, and what was funny is when she stood up, she was hunched back until she stood up, and she stood up straight. And I kind of laughed a little bit, and I said, hey, Victoria, can you do me a favor and stand up straight? And she says, she looks down at her chest and says, I am standing up straight. She was like so surprised.
Oh, that's so cool.
And she was, the look on her face, obviously that's on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
I posted that one because I felt like I needed to share it. But she said, wow, my back was completely realigned, and she was so excited. And then I say, hey, can you do me a favor and just walk a little bit? So she just walks a little bit. She's like, wow, my hips feel really, really strong. It's amazing. So as I did that, she started walking. She walked straight. She was completely healed, miraculously healed, and she was thanking us, hugging
incredible.
us and loving on us for a while. So
Miracles, people. I'm telling you, you're capable of it, and anybody can do it. So we're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll talk to you again. Are you sick and tired of dealing with flaky graphic designers and web designers who always overpromise and underdeliver? We have a solution, and it's called Instagraphics. It's an on-demand graphic design and web design service allowing you to get your website or your graphic design project done the same day. All you got to do is download it for free on the Google Play Store. There's live support and a ton of other resources to help you grow your business. Check it out, instagraphics.com, or download the Instagraphics app for free on the Google Play Store.
Do you dream about building a successful real estate business and don't know how to get to the next level? Are you thinking about buying or selling property? You need a partner who is a trusted authority in the real estate industry. I'm Krista Proctor, and it's my passion to propel people forward in achieving their real estate dreams. Whether you are a buyer, a seller, or even an agent in need of coaching, my team's attention to detail and our ability to predict outcomes will make the whole experience enjoyable. If you'd like to work with me, then now is the time. Call or text me at 877-707-6050 for a no-cost real estate roadmap consultation. My proven process is guaranteed to create a successful outcome for my clients. We also have an agency ownership opportunity for realtors across the nation. Call or text me at 877-707-6050. I'm Krista Proctor, trusted real estate expert of the Project Grow radio show, and I can't wait to partner with you.
Handling payroll, workers' comp, and HR yourself is a big risk. If done incorrectly, it can cost you thousands of dollars and agonizing audits. You need a reliable company that looks out for you in all of these areas, and there's no better company than Premier Personnel. Family owned and operated, Jennifer and Scott will provide the highest quality service at a cost you can afford. Call Premier Personnel at 888-915-0806 or visit them online at ppfsp.com.
Hi, I'm Adrian Boycell, and this is your Business Minute. Why do companies struggle to create a healthy culture? Scaling your business is one of the biggest challenges you will face in your entrepreneurial journey. Let's face it, no one will believe in your business as much as you do or be as dedicated as you are. That's why creating a healthy culture that is focused on teamwork and communication is so important. Here are 3 tips to help you improve your company's culture. Number 1, what is your why? Your team must not only believe in you, but why you are different and how you are improving your industry. Number 2, culture starts at the top. If you're coming in late, leaving early, or spending the majority of your day alone and on your phone, what is that saying to your team? Be present, communicate, and lead by example. And number 3, upfront expectations and accountability. You must give each member of your team a clear job description and set expectations up from the very beginning. It's not easy, but if you want a healthy culture, it has to be done. You're going to have to sit that team member down and revisit all of the expectations that you had from the beginning and go over their job description so that everybody is on the same page. And don't forget, it's really important to give that team member praise along with the criticism. No one is perfect, and you want your team member to feel like they are appreciated. I'm Adrian Boycell. This has been your Business Minute, and as always, keep looking up. I'm passionate about our future generations, and I believe that the current model of partying is a destructive dead-end road. That's why a year ago, I dedicated my life and my time to supporting Lounge of Life. It's a nonprofit organization with a mission to help young people from falling into the destructive lifestyle of the current partying scene. College binge drinking and drug abuse is a huge epidemic, causing more than 1,800 deaths per year and 97,000 cases of abuse. I believe this is truly a problem worth fighting for. We've started a fundraiser on GoFundMe to continue the progress and the efforts of our team to impact the community by providing education and what I feel is a much needed alternative nightlife experience. So today, I'm asking all of my listeners for help. Go visit our GoFundMe campaign at gofundme.com/Lounge of Life. Make a generous donation and I will announce all of the names of the top 25 donors. Again, that's gofundme.com/Lounge of Life. Thank you for your support.
Money 105.5.
All right. This is the Project Grow Radio Show. Welcome back. We are here in studio with Brandon Leone, and we've been talking about miracles, mandates, and motivation. So we're going to get to the last segment of the show, and I got a couple things. I had one more question I wanted to ask Brandon, and then he's got some words of knowledge he wants to share. So I think that's really, really important. But Brandon, what's your most memorable miracle?
My most memorable miracle was actually the first time I prayed for someone and they actually got healed. You know, like you hear the stories and, oh, that's cool. And I was leaving a business meeting and I happened to go a different way, like way out of my way. I'm like, oh, I guess I got to get thank you cards. It just came into my mind. Yeah. Thank you cards. Okay. So I went to Home Goods, which I would never go to Home Goods for thank you cards.
Yeah.
But I sat in my car for 10 minutes. I felt like I shouldn't get out. And I'm like, I mean, I was working on hearing from the Lord, but I had never had an experience like this. And I finally felt like, okay, I'm going to get out. And I'm kind of wandering around the store trying to find the thank you cards. Well, there was a lady at the thank you card station that was, looking at some cards. And we get into a conversation, and before you know it, she's sharing her whole life story with me.
You're so friendly.
2 minutes. And when that happened, she basically told me that she had seared, or she had crushed nerves in her back.
Ouch.
And so it was so painful. She hadn't been able to work for 2 years. She hadn't been able to drive. Her friend drove her there. And all that to say, I had never really prayed for someone that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've really prayed for people and saw them healed up to this point.
Yeah.
This was a few years ago. And I just said, and she said, I have to go in for surgery next week, and I'm going to get my nerves seared off. They're going to actually sear them off. And I said, oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's going to happen. We're going to pray for you, and the Lord's going to heal you. And I just said it, like it just came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And I wish I could have taken it back, but I said it. And her friend came over, and she's like, what's going on? I said, hey, do you believe that the Lord heals today? She's like, yeah. I said, okay, put your hand on her back. The Lord's going to heal her. And I just went for it. And so we prayed, and she felt the power of God come on her. And she literally was done, and she's shaking. And I say, do something you couldn't do. And she bends over and touches her toes for the first time in 2 years.
Moly.
She starts jumping. She goes crazy, and she just gets miraculously healed. And that was the first time I prayed for someone, and they got healed.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was fun.
I've been doing a lot more. You've inspired me to do it. I did it yesterday with a potential client on the phone that I met. I've just been trying to offer that up. I know that's what he wants us to do, and it's just something I feel really passionate about now, and it's growing. I'm growing in confidence because it's something I've had to build confidence up in. So let's hear your words of wisdom, your words of knowledge, I should say, that we've been since you've been here.
So I believe there are some people here. Now this happens pretty often that I'll get these. I'm still learning, of course, just like everyone else. But I do feel like there's some specific people listening in that might have some shortness of breath. I've been having a little trouble breathing, so it could be due to anxiety, panic attacks, asthma, anything like that. I'll pray over all this in a second, but if that's you, if you could just reach out to Adrian, and that way we can know that was for someone. I felt some ringing headache on my right side, like it was like ringing super loud. So anybody that has ringing headaches, Lord wants to heal you. And then also I have a left eye and ear injury. So I don't know. I kind of felt like it was either from an explosive or there was some kind of lingering injury that's been there for a while. Left eye, left ear. So, so anyways, if that's any of you, we know that the Lord would not give a word like that and not want to heal you. So I'm just going to say a simple prayer. Is that all right? Yeah, Lord, we lift up this shortness of breath, this left eye and ear injury, this ringing headache. Yes. We thank you that it's always your will to heal every single time. So we just speak life into all of those issues, Lord. We just speak healing to the headaches. We speak healing and restoration to the ear and the left eye. And we speak to that heart. We speak to the lungs. We speak that shortness of breath. Bring that body into wholeness. Fill it with peace in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name, amen. Heck yeah. That's what this is all about. Faith, leadership, marketing, technology. Faith comes first, brother. That's awesome. So, oh, man, what an exciting show. I can't wait to have you back, man. I'm so grateful that you came.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's exciting. We're going to do this again. So
absolutely.
I'm going to close it out. I don't have time to do the book of the week or the quote of the week, unfortunately, but I just wanted to kind of touch again on the Instagraphics app. If you guys want to go to the Google Play Store and check that out. If you need instant graphic design, on-demand graphic design service, I should say, or web design services, we're now offering that. We've launched our app. It's going to be on the Google Play Store real soon here. There's a lot of different resources. So when you log on to the app, you can create a free profile, create your own cover photo, upload your profile picture, a lot of cool little features like that. But then as well, there's live support. So we have this all integrated right into our Slack channel, if you've ever used Slack. So as soon as you message us, we get a notification on our phone, and we can start having a dialogue. If you need help with an existing website that you have that you're frustrated with, we can help you out, whether it's a simple Word or if it's a simple drag and drop builder, or if it's a complicated WordPress website, we can help you out there. We have a website request form. We also have an appointment booking system. And then my favorite part is where you have to create your free account is under the Growth Opportunities tab. You'll see that there. You can log in. There's a lot of content. All the radio shows are on there. My business minutes are on there. I have the Instagraphics Academy that is designed to help graphic designers and web designers in the industry. And it's just really full of a lot of resources. I also have coupons and deals. And then if you go to my to that section, there's also shop pricing and products, which it's actually linked up to the Adrian Graphics website, where you can buy just the flat out packages, like our logo design package or our branding design packages or business card design. We've actually done the flat rate pricing as well. So the website process is anywhere between a day to 2 days. So like I said, it's a free app to download. You can create a free account, and you can just get synced up with us. We're going to be building this thing ongoing as we go along here. We're going to be adding more features, adding more community. Oh, and there's even access to our private Facebook group, so you can get locked in with us, get resources to help rank your website. I'm going to be pouring in tutorials and just all kinds of content on a regular basis. So if you missed this show, I would really encourage you to go back and listen to it. It's just a very healing episode. I feel very compelled to share that with you. Go back and listen to this. I'll have this uploaded by tonight, and you can go to projectgrowradio.com and listen to all of our past shows there. So we also have this show streaming on CastBox, on TuneIn, Stitcher, iTunes. I mean, on dozens, Podbean. There's a bunch of them. So you guys can check those out. And I just really thank you guys for tuning into the show for the last 12 weeks. It's been an amazing experience, and this is not the end. So this is really just the beginning. So we're going to bring Brandon back. I got more guests lined up for the rest of the month. So I really thank you guys. I appreciate you all. And as always, keep looking up.